YouTube. And guys, you guys can always ask me any questions right in the middle. So I think we are live. Let's confirm it. Are we live? Are we live? I think we are live right now. Yes, we are live. Okay, everybody, how's everyone? And welcome to all of the people which was already in the Zoom meeting. Anybody who wants to join, they can go to the community section and they can join us. Today, we're going to be doing something that, a lot of us ask us this question. And I'm sure Eddie probably will be thinking right now, since his lab is getting over, and some of you who are taking these labs, like, okay, how do I practice all of this stuff on my own? And most likely I want to try it for free, but at the same time, I'm going to be giving you full information. What's the problem with the free labs, doing it on your own? What is the problem with that? And if you can invest some money on yourself, getting the labs or servers like that, what's the benefit of doing that? Because our main goal is what? You getting a job and you learning more advanced skills, not just getting a job, more advanced skills, so then you can move up from the help desk position quickly. Now, a little bit of, because this whole training is about this whole, me talking to people right now is about what? Is about a community that wants to grow an IT career. So we're not just putting a video out there and throwing it out on YouTube, because it has to serve the specific community that we're in right now. So the story for today is that I got a call from one of my member who got the job a few months ago, and he told me that, Danish, I have to talk to you. I'm like, yes, go ahead, tell me what's up. And he told me, man, I'm too stressed out in the beginning. Like, I'm just thinking, is this where I'm working? It's very fast paced, and I'm like too, I feel like, is this going to be, I'm going to be doing for most of the companies? So if I feel like if I move to a different company, will it be like the same? So I told him, in the beginning, every single person will be like a soldier, right? A lot of people ask me this question too, like, why help desk is getting paid less than sysadmin and network engineers? Because think about an army, right? An army, generals or colonels, they're making some huge decisions, right? They're not just going out there and doing small stuff. Welcome everybody. So, the thing is this, that's why I tell people that you are in the army right now. In the beginning, it's going to be like an academy, and you're going to come across extremely tedious type of things or repetitive type of tasks that you just have to accept that reality. And if somebody tells you that that's not the reality, then I'm sorry, this career is not for you then. Or maybe that person is lying to you, or maybe that person has been to such career that they never tasted that real stress that majority of the IT people take. So we are going to prepare you for the real world, which is more in a majority way, not in specific lucky ways, right? Because I can get lucky in a nonprofit or maybe some really huge environment, and then they will give me every single thing in IT, and I'll be the most happiest IT person in the world, even if I start with the help desk. That's just not true in this career. So we have to be as a mentors, or you can call me a friend. I don't consider myself mentor, by the way. I'm more of like, I learn and I teach people, right? I don't consider myself as a trainer or anything like that. I just learn and I teach. So my thing is this: if I learn this way, and I've seen so many people going through this route and they have been taking this stress, you are most likely going to take the same stress. So accept that reality and just be positive about it, right? So then the thing is this, that you don't want to get stuck by being in our platform, watching us live on YouTube. What do you achieve from this? You're basically not going through the routes that we've been through, and we are making it just easy for you. So some of our videos may get too long and boring, but try to listen to us, what we're saying. It's going to definitely save you everything in your life, right? That's why we're here, right? So
correct.
That's why I told him, I'm like, honestly, 6 months, you got to give it. Just go with it, force yourself, and then move out. In IT, if you want to make more money, if you don't like a place in where you're working, move out. Moving out is the only way you're going to make your life better in IT right now, unless you are working in a very good environment and you see future. If you see future in that company, then stay in there, because then you know more than me right now, right? If you're working in a company and you know the culture and everything, you know more than me. You don't need me, right? I will just kind of like either push you and give you more confidence to just stay in that company. But most likely, a lot of people that I'm going to tell them that if you're stuck and you don't like your place, move out. There's too many jobs out there. Move out, okay? You didn't miss anything, Salam. We're just starting right now. I was just talking about one of the member called me in his situation. So anyway, if somebody missed my stuff, you can go back and start from that. But in a live session, you just want to be more on track with us because you can do conversation, and later on you can watch this video. So today,
hey, Dinesh, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's up, Ricardo, man? How are you? Everybody's like, man, all my favorite people are here today. Everybody's my favorite, by the way.
I did not want to miss this. You said Azure. I'm like, I'm in, baby.
All right. So, guys, why did we choose Azure first today and not go through some other routes? Like, for example, my goal of my video is today is that how many different platforms you can use to spin up your own Active Directory environment and play around with it and learn some more inside it. Why did I choose Azure? Why is that? Because Azure is more modern and the technology that we're moving to, right? Just like AWS, just like cloud, Google Cloud, we're moving towards that direction, right? So I like to choose this and show you that you can do the same process like me after when you're ready to actually do these type of labs, because there's a trick to it. There's a point to it. The why I'm saying this, you should wait. And once you learn things and once you understand things, then come back to these platforms. Why is that? The reason for that is that if I show you that, yes, you can go ahead and create your own free account today on Azure, and they're going to give you how many dollars? How much are they going to give you?
$200.
$200. Most of you already know this. So you register, they give you the $200, but the problem is that if you don't know what to do with it, what will happen?
You will spend it.
It will go away, right?
Yeah.
It will go away because it says to explore for 30 days also, right? Then you're going to get stuck with what? Some tiny money resources. Maybe they'll give you 1 GB RAM or 2 GB RAM. You can't do nothing with that, right? As a technical person, you really can't learn much over here. And specifically, if you're going for help desk positions, this should be a very minimal thinking, right? This should not be your main concern right now to learn Azure, but just a touch up, guys. Why? Because some of the jobs are talking about Azure these days. So if we go to if we just type Azure right now inside the Indeed.com, look how many titles are coming up with just IT help desk positions. You guys have seen that?
Mm-hmm.
So Azure
almost all of them.
Azure is over there. So for you to learn about Azure is only to make it beneficial for yourself so you can put it on your resume. So then when they start scanning your resume, just like I scan title by just doing one term out there, right? How quickly I found titles, that's how they find you. They're going to put this Azure and they're going to say, I want to learn more about this stuff, right? You're welcome, Razor. Thank you so much. So why I choose Azure first today is because we want to go from cloud to all the way to the bottom now. So then you can make your own decision, guys, right? Because I'm going to show you a full picture today of what's more important for you to learn and where you should start thinking and investing your energy more than other places. So if we're going to start talking about Azure, and I say, like, let's just go ahead and deploy a domain controller, or let's just put a server out there. Tell me, guys, one thing I think you guys should start thinking about. What are you missing from this skill right now? If I say I'm going to install, I'm going to say I'm going to put this 2016 Active Directory controller server. And where am I getting this from, guys? I'm getting this from Market, right? So I went into Azure and I type Market right here, right? I type Market, I go to the Market, and I did what? I just type Active Directory. This is right after when you get that free trial going, you can just go straight to the Market. You don't need to invest your energy anywhere else. You don't need to install a virtual machine from scratch right now, because in the beginning you want to learn things, right? So you want to do is this, like if you do Active Directory 2016, oh, sorry, I'm going to do, there you go. So we have 2 pre-built templates, and what are those? Active Directory domain 2016, and also we have 2019. But the thing is this, I want to ask you guys, even if I have to go and recreate this from scratch, meaning like there's some edits done to this template. If I go and want to do it from scratch, where do I go? I go to virtual machine right now, right? And I just click on add right here.
Yeah.
But you guys tell me, what are you missing over here? If you are going to go for a help desk job, what are some of the things that you're missing right now if you're going to deploy something like that?
How to work with Windows servers?
What's that, sorry?
How to work with Windows servers and Active Directory?
No, that's like working right now. Right now, you're missing a skill. By doing this, they're giving you what? They're giving you instantly.
Virtual machines skill.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Good point right there. But you're also missing a whole installation of ISO, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right from the scratch. So when we tell people to invest into a VirtualBox, VMware, Hyper-V, what is the purpose of that for your job? Because you got to look at you in the beginning. We're gonna start from the help desk first, right? We're not gonna jump into Sysadmin right now. Maybe Sysadmin, we're gonna talk about it right now. But you're missing a backend access or the way to install operating system is a part of your job. And if you're working for a on-premises environment right now, and you get hired by as a system, as a help desk technician or IT support technician or on-prem systems administrator, you're missing a skill right here. And what is that skill? Just by installing everything from scratch. Like you're going to go to virtual machine, you're going to click on create, and then you're going to click on next, and get an ISO. But if you were to install, let's say, for example, this is our server right now. Let's say this is our server. This is not a server, by the way, it's a hub. But let's say this is a server right now. You're still missing a skill to put a CD or ISO inside this server and actually learn that operating systems installation right now, right?
Yeah.
So does it make sense to you guys when we teach people and we tell people that you should invest into more of like a server or host or buy an access or whatever it is, and whoever's teaching you, it gotta make sense, because when you start landing a job, you're missing almost half of the skills that comes from the backside of it, right? Azure made it easy for you to just come over here and then let's say pick a template. I'm just gonna go back to my marketplace again now and go to marketplace. And then I'm gonna pick a template, which is, let's say, Windows Active Directory. Let's just do the same thing. And then we're gonna pick the, let's say, 2016 Active Directory, and I'm gonna click on create. So you see, by me doing that right now, it gotta be you. This is where a lot of people get confused. This gotta be a skill that somebody already know the other skills, like how to install operating system from scratch, right? So that's why when people say that you need to know about Azure stuff, they're not asking about installation of templates. They're not talking about installation of virtual machines. They're specifically for help desk. They're talking about how to add a user in Azure, right? In Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, how to maybe just do basic troubleshooting in applications. There are applications now that we use for single sign-on, and you may be just going there and adding people to it. And if systems administrators have done a good job, you don't even have to touch on this area. You just put everything in your Active Directory and it gets synced over to Azure automatically. Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So now, if you were to get use your own subscription and that free trial that you have, you are using, you're gonna always see Azure subscription right here, guys. If you see Azure subscription right here, what will happen is that for that 30 days you can use it, but then after the 30 days, this will stop working, right? Everything will be stopped. So then you can go back and buy a new subscription. You can say, I want to buy a new subscription. So for example, if I come over here, I'm gonna show you guys the cost and management billing. You're gonna come over here, and then most likely you're gonna see $0 on your screen, and you're gonna get happy, like, wow, you know, I'm still having a $0. I have some access, but that's not true. If you come over here right now, you can see my charges are going up now because maybe I need to upgrade my subscription. So if I don't see anything like $0 and my amount is gone, this means I can't do anything. I have to go to the view subscription, and then I have to click on the subscription that I purchased. So you're gonna click or add over here and add your subscription, but know that it's gonna cost you money then, okay? So what? Every day you're gonna be paying about $6, $7, $8, depending on how many RAM that you have bought from Azure, and it can get expensive. It can get expensive, okay? Now, if you look at it right now, let's go back to the marketing again. So just wanna make sure that you guys understand when to stop and when to go for new stuff. It's really up to what you're learning. For the help desk guys, I really don't recommend anything doing in Azure. First, use our free trial. When you understand everything and you know how to use it, then use the free trial and beat the hell out of it. But after that, forget about it, because your skills are really not more in Azure right now. You have to go back. You have to go back to this environment. You have to go back to a back VirtualBox type of environment, Hyper-V type of environment, VMware type of environment. You got to learn from that, okay?
Yeah.
Now we cleared this idea of how to use the lab. We're going to go back now and we'll do Active Directory again. And we're going to pick the 2016 one more time. We're going to click on create. And here, since my subscription is expired, what do? How do I change subscription? Simply click here and go to VM Lab. And now this is my subscription. It's going to ask you to create a resource group. You should create one. I just call it VMs just for now. And then I am basically going to name this domain controller, DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, after that, it will automatically pick my price for that domain controller. So if I leave this domain controller running for almost a month, and if I'm not doing something extensive, so you see how much am I going to pay for a month right now? $84, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I come over here, you're going to come over here too, and I'm just going to create this ID, which is I'm going to call this password. Mr. Tech, go to my community on YouTube here, and then join us today right here. Community, click on this link, and you can join. You'll have to still go back to your email to get the ID and everything. Okay, so here I'm gonna put my passwords, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you guys think 1, 2, 3, 4 will work on Azure? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, it won't.
So I didn't go through any other disk management, networking, nothing like that. Like I said in the beginning, make it easy for yourself. Don't try to make it complicated in the beginning, okay? Don't try to get into that, learning more stuff if you're not into Azure in the beginning. Like just try to make something and understand what happened from the template. It's much easier for you to understand that way and learn more rather than you getting stuck in every single point. So that's gonna cost you a little bit more, time then. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on create right now. And there you go. I created that, and it's going to go out there, and this is it. And we're going to wait for the domain controller to spin up in in Azure right now. So while I'm doing that, I'm waiting for the Azure. And if somebody asks me, what are some other methods that I can use? If I'm not using Azure cloud, or is there any other cloud that are offering free? What if you, let's say, for example, Eddie or somebody else say, you know what, I'm done with Azure. Is there another cloud platform that I can do the same thing and maybe do another month of training? If you find another platform and maybe 3 months of free training, that would be like how much money? That would be like, let's say $600 or $700 for free. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
How can you use that? You guys should go to a different platform. What is that? What is this? Google Cloud. And register, get $300 for free. Do the same process, guys. I have done a YouTube video on Google Cloud, how to create a domain controller inside the Google Cloud. Make sure you search Job Skills Share, Google Cloud, and then you will find out you can get this access, and you will do the same process. They have the same click here, click the image, install domain controller, install server, this and this, and then the process is the same, right? I've shown this like multiple times now, right? How to create a domain controller. Okay, you're done with that. Maybe you can go to the IBM, which is another big one, right? So you can go online and find it, but it comes with a one cost. And what is that? You're going to be sharing your credit card, and they're not going to recharge you, but still you're sharing your credit card. So if you're okay with that, and like me, if you don't have any money, that's fine. I mean, I'm like that, I'm like, I don't have money, man. You guys can take my credit card. So I will have different platforms in the cloud without me doing any investment, and I can do all of this learning that I'm showing you to guys today about domain controller stuff, right? But again, the problem is what for you guys? Coming back to my point, to a lot of people who are new to IT, new to technology, what is the problem right now? You gotta get into this environment, and you have to learn some real stuff that is more important for your job today in the market right now. Right? It's not Azure, it's not Google Cloud, it's not IBM, right? You have never seen these type of stuff in as a help desk person, right? It's what? It's installation of the operating system, it's fixing the operating system, it's deploying software, it's working with the Office 365, it's using the Windows 10 with connecting the Outlook on the cloud. And it's like you're inside this environment where you just need to learn some of the back end of it. You do not rely on images. Right now, what's happening is that the cloud is spinning some images, which is already pre-built, ready for you. And I'll show you and demonstrate it today in the VMware environment, that how can you make your life easy and do the same stuff in the cloud? How is this coming so fast? How is it bringing all these servers like in a few minutes? But you're missing a skill right behind that. And in my training, I show that right from the beginning. What do we do, Eddie? We install this stuff, right? So to get stuff like this, the ESXi, guys. Now we just talk about that while that's running in Azure. You got a server, right? Now this is not a server again, but let's say this is a server. You either buy this product, this hardware. So this hardware may have, let's say, 92 GB RAM or maybe 128 GB RAM. That's a lot of power right there. And it may have 12 core CPUs, and it gives you a lot of vCPUs, virtual CPUs, around 24, something like that. Or you may have dual cores, or you may have quad core or something like that, right? So you either buy a server from eBay. That's going to cost you about $300, $400, $500, depending on how much RAM you put on it. And then once you have that, then you can basically install a ESXi, which is on its own an operating system on a hardware level. So you're not like installing an operating system like Windows 10 or Linux or anything like that, and then you do virtualization. And I have done a whole training on YouTube on this, and I've shown a whole servers how do you install ESXi on bare metal servers. So you can, what you're seeing right now is a bare metal server, but it's more nested right now. It's like more virtualized, but this is exactly what you're going to see. You're going to get an IP address like this. You're going to get an IP address, and you're going to see a host when you install everything on it. And then you're going to get that backend access. And that's where you can start learning more about IT stuff for your job specifically in this current market. Am I making sense to you guys? Because my point is actually for you guys to understand what I'm saying about skills right here, not just showing you how to do labs, okay?
Yeah, that's true. I just want to add something quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
I actually recently registered on Microsoft Azure, and I have my free trial, but I'm not able to add any virtual machines where it says my subscription it's not available for my subscription. The size of this server what they advertise.
Did you go and did you got that $200 credit also?
Yeah.
So maybe the server that you're picking right now, maybe it's pretty heavy or something like that. So maybe you should bring it down, or just use the same template that I'm using, because I used that in my trial and it worked. Some may be not available in the free trial. There's limitations on it.
Okay.
So make sure you should check that, and also you should check that did you have a valid card in there, and did it accepted it and all that kind of stuff. So you should check that.
Yeah, probably something wrong with that.
Maybe there's something wrong with that, because maybe you might have got the free profile, but they may not have activated it, or something like that.
Okay.
AWS is also giving 1 year for free. Menti, that's true, but some of like what we are doing right now, we required a lot of RAM power. We required a lot of CPU power, because we want to learn the backend, and we want to do a lot of things with these machines. And I will come down to more low budget things for a lot of people who wants to use their laptops. And I have actually a machine that's running a 16 GB RAM, and most of the people these days are buying laptops with that kind of RAM, right? 8 GB or 16 GB. And then I'll also show what's the problem with that, but it's just doable. It's not like it's not doable, right? It's about what is going to help you on the job. That's our goal, because we are specifically talking about job skills right here. We're not talking about home skills, right? We're talking about job skills. So if I want to go over quickly while this thing is happening, tell me, guys, when I put VMware, look on the bottom, what's happening over here. How many hits do I get?
65 at least.
No, I mean, how many numbers of jobs are available out there with VMware title?
Oh, that's a lot.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
11,000.
Look at the minimum rate that it starts with. That this term's minimum starts with above $65,000, right? So you should start thinking, and you should start thinking smartly right now. You should really think about these terms, why it matters on your resume, because a lot of people respect these terms based on what we think about in this market. And right now, the market, virtualization, the on-premise virtualization is controlled by VMware. There's no question about it. And if somebody wants to argue about that, that person may be just living with Hyper-V type of or Microsoft environment, and they may really love it. But the reality of that is we have to come to the real stuff. What's giving us money? What's giving us jobs, right? So if I put VMware how many hits am I getting? And if I put Hyper-V, how many hits am I getting now over here? Check the VMware, check the Hyper-V. So let's move it back.
Not much.
I
Okay.
mean, it's still a lot. It's not that it's not bad. But if you look at the 100,000 plus jobs, there's 2,000, almost 3,000 jobs that are 100,000 plus jobs. While in a Hyper-V, how many are there? 379.
Yeah.
So are you guys understanding how people, like, when people go for bigger jobs and they want to get jobs or even in a help desk job, do you see the value of terms on resume? This is why we say to people, if you're going to be investing your energy in something, you're doing trainings and everything, then why not invest in a right area and then make it worth? So let me tell you, what is the normal way of telling people to do your labs? What is that common name that a lot of people use?
VMware.
No, there's another one. Like on your desktops, a lot of people say, go for what?
I forget
what is that?
VirtualBox.
Okay, now look at the numbers of VirtualBox now.
Yeah, not much at
Are
all.
you guys getting my
Not
point?
much.
If you guys want to do something for yourself,
less and less.
You have to start thinking a little bit more. Okay, guys. Now I understand, and I will not go against somebody who promote VirtualBox to you. But if you want to become a real IT person, then VirtualBox will hold very minimal value when you start talking in interview. When you start talking about VMware, Vcenter, ESXi, it's going to be a different game for you and different impression that you're giving out to other person. When you start about, I have a home and at home I have a VirtualBox and I deployed 5 machines with my VirtualBox, that's totally different than a person saying, I got a server in my home, I installed a Vcenter on it, and I'm kind of like doing some Vcenter stuff and ESXi stuff. You see how it's different than when you talk about VirtualBox? So that's why I also want to, in these trainings, I want to train you on how to do things smartly, okay? Because you want to get that job, you want to grow in your career, and that's how you do things, okay? So let's go back to what's happening with our so let me go back here. Our deployment is completed, okay? So once the deployment is completed, then what do? We go to what? We go to virtual machines, right? So here, if you had the free subscription and you try to refresh, why am I not seeing that? Why am I not seeing my domain controller over here?
Click on the bell on top.
I click on the bell on top. So what do?
Go to resource.
Yeah, but that's still, if you look at this page right here, what is it saying? Subscription selected, how many?
Oh,
1 of 2.
One of 2.
And you may just come over here. You're gonna keep waiting, and even if you click on resource, maybe it'll take you. But sometimes that bell icon, that notification also goes away, right? You click on it once and it goes away. But here's the thing: if you click on it right now, you can select all, or you can just select the one that you're looking for, right? And now you see it came up. Make sense? So once you do that template, after that, the reason I asked you guys to pick a template for Active Directory, because when you're brand new, none of these things are going to make too much sense to you in the beginning. Number one, you have to understand networking, and that's something that's not going to go away. A lot of people are confused about, is my CCNA not worth anymore? No, your CCNA is worth a lot if you know how to actually use your networking skills in a real environment, right? So if you are going to if you're going to have a basic knowledge of networking, to be honest, today, when you look at this private IP address and public IP addresses, you shouldn't have any issues with that, right? Because you should clearly understand what is a public IP address, how am I going to use that? And for 10.0.0.0.6, how am I going to use that? So can you guys tell me, if I open my RDP right now, and I just go to my RDP, can I type the 10.0.0.0.6 address, and will I get connected to that domain controller?
No.
Why not? No.
It's private IP address. You need public IP address.
I learned you can go back. This is a live training and it's getting recording, so you can actually go back and you will see. I just deployed a template for Active Directory. So okay, so now if you guys look at it, I cannot use this IP address. I have to use this IP address to get into this machine. But when I use this template, it says that this is an Active Directory template. Is this already joined to? It's like, did it become my domain controller yet?
No, not yet. You need to Configure it.
I need to configure it, right? So I still need to go ahead and do my job. So I'm going to click on connect and click on RDP. And once you do that, you're going to get that RDP 3389 should be already open for you.
Mhm.
And you see how I downloaded it, and I just click on it and I'm going to open it. Later on, I'm going to also show you a tool. How do you make this easy in one panel? You can get all of these cloud machines and put it in one place. So you don't have to keep downloading this stuff again and again, okay? That's for like more like a management purposes. Okay, so I'm going to move this right here and I'm going to connect. So you see it's directly connecting to my IP address, which is public IP address, and this is my ID, and that is my password 1234. So guys, if you guys are watching my screen and you guys can try that IP address, maybe it will work. So now I am, oh, I hate this one. This is on a big monitor. It doesn't fix itself. It's going to try to fix itself now in a second. Hold on, guys. And sometimes when you install these machines on a, like on the cloud, remember this is what? This is an image, right? So the image, when it comes up for the first time, sometimes it may have issues. So what do you do with a machine when it has issues for the first time when it gets started? What do you do with that machine?
Restart.
Restart it. Perfect. Good job. When you restart the machine, it gets all the IDs correctly, SSIDs, all that kind of stuff start working again nicely and smoothly. And then maybe you should do a more proper installation of domain controller. But we didn't care. I don't care about this domain controller. This probably, I will delete it probably after today because I don't want to be paying for this stuff for nothing, right? So right now I'm like paying for this stuff, right? So guys, so if we see this right now, and now we wanted to see, if I come to start and I'm going to click on server manager, but when you install a server or you restart a server, and if you don't let this server manager stop automatically from coming up, then it will always come up, right? That's a normal process of servers. So I always ask my people who are watching me to always wait for this blue line right here that's going through right now. You don't want to be doing a lot of things because sometimes you may go through and do it and it may cause some issues for you. So just wait on it. It already installed AD and DNS services. DNS service is already there, but only one thing that's remaining in the server, we still have to configure it and promote it to become a domain controller, right? So that's the benefit of running a template type of images, because it's already done a half job for you, right?
Okay.
So, and then I'll show you another big reason why I choose this, because then you need to learn more. If you want to learn more stuff for advanced learning, then I say that why I like to use templates, because it teaches me more, because that person who created a template must be pretty good at this stuff, right? So whoever makes a template like this and put it on Azure and say, hey, I have configured and I did all these scripting and blah, 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 blah on Azure, I will show you what else they do so you can learn from it. You're using their skills for you to learn from them now, right? So now we're going to promote this to a domain controller, and we're going to create a new forest, meaning this is a brand new domain controller. We're not adding it to another one. Maybe in one lab, we might just add more additional domain. Like, for example, if my, oh, Kevin is here, look. What's up, Kevin, man? So let Kevin come in. I wanted to see how he's feeling right now. Kevin, how are you?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
How are you with your health?
Me, I'm okay. I still have like an allergy problem, but it's okay.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that you're recovering and everything. Can't wait to see you live, because I'm kind of getting tired now. I need to be in your live sessions now. Just sit, drink some tea, you know.
I'm drinking tea right now.
I don't have one. All right, guys. So here, a lot of people will be using different type of namings for their domain controllers, right? So a lot of people use what? HQ headquarter, corp. Some people use corp. So today, let's use corp, corporation, whatever. You know, they can use anything that they want, they'd like to put in there here. So I'm going to do jobskillshare.org here, and then we're going to click on next here, and then after that, it's going to basically give us that NetBio stuff and password stuff like that. Now, this is the stuff that I like to tell people when I'm doing this stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, you zoom through it. Remember that this is the skill for who? Who's going to be doing this stuff?
Sysadmin.
Perfect, sysadmin. And for sysadmin to learn this stuff, then I recommend what? You should really go back to the server learning. server, AD learning. How do you do all that stuff? We have the ability in Practice Lab, so you can go for and buy our membership. Our membership is definitely changing. It changed already. We have changed a lot of the basic stuff. We removed all the Plus membership for now because that's not worth it anymore. But if people think that they still need some help, contact me directly and I can still help you out, okay? If you come back over here, let's go back to this. Where was I? Was my right here. So guys, I'm gonna give it a password now, just a basic password, and then we can move on.
Hey, Danish.
Yes, sir.
It's Eddie. Why'd you create a forest as opposed to the, you wanted to try something different?
No, it is I always use a forest, right? New forest, because we don't have a different domain controller, right?
I don't know.
No. So here, if we want to create a domain controller for the first time, this is the first time I'm creating a domain controller. Then why am I using this? So let's go ahead and cancel everything again, guys. Here, if I come over here.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
It already took me through right there. So I kind of screwed it up.
Sorry.
Let's go back and do the promote again. Sorry, I kind of stopped in the middle, so I kind of got a little confused, right?
Yeah. Well, the only reason was because in the labs that we did, we added a domain controller, right? Didn't we?
No.
Yeah.
The labs that we did,
Yeah.
we created a domain controller from scratch, just exactly like this. We never added a additional domain controller. We never did that. So if you go back to your basically your course, we always added a force, but I don't know why the install is not coming up. I'm not seeing the install. So what's happening over here, guys? Wow. Is this something I'm missing here, or am I not putting the right password?
Go back.
Ali,
Go previous.
hold on.
What am I missing?
Change it to something else. You just see what happens. Change it to something else.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Why would this? I think I'm missing a password, or maybe I screwed it up or something. When I stop in the middle, I think I was in the flow. Anybody who's live there watching us, try to help us out.
Is it the right password on both tabs?
Something is not right. Hold on. So how do you check if I'm not putting a right password? Let's go here. Go open a notepad. It's definitely something is wrong right here. And why is this happening? Okay, let's use this password. Copy it. Password.
There we go.
So very common mistake and common issue also when you're recording things and when you're in a browser, sometimes your keyboard may be doing some crazy stuff. So how did I fix it? How did I go back? And I want to make sure that I'm not doing a mistake. And if I looked at it, there was a little red asterisk mark, right? That is saying that your password is having an issue. So how do you fix it? You just go back, open a notepad, and make sure you put it out there, copy paste it, just to make sure you're not doing any mistake. Or maybe your keyboard is having some crazy issues, right? So if I was going to type this, and maybe I might have, if it was a keyboard issue, maybe my password might be just capital letters and stuff like that, and I may see some crazy stuff, then I will have to do what? I may have to refresh my browser most of the time. And this type of issue really happens when you were working on an ESXi, and I know, Eddie, you remember, like we were working on it, and sometimes it will just not do it will not start a machine because you're hitting that keyboard and it doesn't do anything. So then what do? We cancel the whole, console. We just refresh the whole browser for keyboard to get it connected again, and everything started working. So you guys saw that, right? How that troubleshooting worked?
Yeah, or you also could have a different keyboard as me, like I have a Russian one, so sometimes I need to press Alt-Shift to change.
It's definitely the thing. So while Kev is over here, Kev, what are we learning on Saturday?
Nothing. Just ask me anything. The floor is free for everyone.
Guys, you guys heard Kev Tech channel. Let me just open it up right now, and you guys can come over here, go to Kev Tech. And this guy right here is amazing. Just come over here, click on it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. He has a lot of good stuff that whatever I'm teaching today, when you mix these two trainings, to be honest, I just don't know, right, Kev? Like I'd say that to people, like, I don't know how you cannot land a job, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe not learn the skills. Like you can really, really grab these skills from us, okay? And he's going to be live on Saturday. So of course, I'm going to try to join you after my training because I have some members on Saturday. I have 3 people taking. So 3 people means I have to probably spend more than 3 hours.
Wow.
More like 6.
More like 6. Eddie, I think in Eddie's training, it was 3 too. I think, is Layla here? I think Layla was here.
Layla's here.
I don't know if she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're here.
Can
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you, Layla?
Yeah, I'm good. And you?
I'm perfectly fine. Are you doing everything? Is this also, does it ring a bell? Because you have done some of the process inside
Yes,
the right?
yes, it does. So right now I'm on day 4 actually.
Perfect. So in our coming live training, we have 3 people. So it's going to be fun because this is going to be my last training for this month and next month. Fasting is starting. I might be very less responsive in most of the cases. I may be just out of my energy, so that's not that I ignore people. It's just that fasting is hard, guys. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So it's a good time for me to kind of get back. And okay, so right now this is creating a domain controller. We're gonna be basically ready then. After this, what can I do? I can do many different things, right? I can install a new virtual machine inside that Active Directory environment. In this Azure, I can spin up another Windows 10 machine, and the process is the same, guys. So right now, if I close this, it's going to restart, and basically, we're going to have a machine ready. So I'm just going to minimize this, go back to virtual machines, and here I can install a new virtual machine. The process is going to be the same. If this machine that you installed a new one and you're trying to join it to that Active Directory, if it's not working, you have to do what? You have to put the domain controller IP address in the DNS of that machine, right? Because it has to now say that I am not relying on a DNS of Azure that this is giving me, right? I'm gonna have to go back to this guy is DC. So don't forget this in a lab environment because a lot of people mistake.
I got stuck for hours on that thing.
But you got stuck for hours, but you didn't go 5 minutes ahead. I told you to watch 5 minutes video a little bit more, and then you figured it out, right?
Yeah.
So guys, there's another question that with this specific point, there's this question a lot of people will ask. Okay, if I'm learning this in a lab environment, that DNS that you're putting in here, I know in most of the companies, we don't do that. It has to be done something more automatic way. You don't put DHCP addresses in computers. You don't put DNS addresses in computers unless there's a very specific task. You should know it because these are interview questions. They're going to say, how do you put a static IP address? You all should know that, right? Mm-hmm. They may say, well, can you go back and change the DNS for the specific task that we're doing? So you should know that. But if you're wondering, who gets to configure that DNS and DHCP information in a real environment, then if you guys remember when people take our live training, I tell them to make sure you go over our fundamental course. And if you don't want to go through our website, then you should come over here. And definitely, I highly recommend you guys watch this playlist right here. Let me show you guys. Is this right here? How to set up a real office lab, guys. To be honest, if you feel like you're missing something in your life right now, that some of the things are not making sense to you, like what does the network engineer do? How do they set up a router? How do they set up an ISP? How do they get all these connections working? Then you should definitely start from the video first. This is where you're gonna basically say that this is a network engineer. I know who's there. And from the top to all the way to 3 videos, it's gonna show you how the routers, how the switches are configured in your work environment. Then the system administrator comes in over here in this 20 minutes videos. I showed specifically that settings. How do you configure DHCP? How do you configure pools? How do you configure DNS? How does all that automation work? But then after that automation, how does this whole process work automatically? Then like how is the system administrator contacting the engineer, and the engineer is putting the DHCP address in a router. Remember, in a real environment, you don't routers or switches don't give DHCP addresses, right? That's not a real way of doing things in a real environment, right? That's why we got to work together with network engineers at the same time. So a sysadmin will contact, sorry, the network engineer will contact sysadmin that, hey, is your DHCP server ready? What's the IP address? And they're going to put it out there. Then when a help this person joins in and they start doing all this stuff that you're doing and you're learning, then you get to understand how this whole network is functioning. You see, now you got the whole picture in your head and you have seen it practically. Then when you do your practice, the things that I'm showing you, it makes super sense to you. And then you don't have too many questions about why am I putting this IP in a DNS, because then you realize that this is just 11, right?
Yeah.
Does it make sense so far? So guys, our domain controller is ready. After this, what do you do? And before I get in there, why did I say that I use a template for a reason? Now, let me show you guys why I choose a template and what was the reason, guys. By looking at the screens, what do you guys think?
All of these ports are already set up.
Oh, yes, there you go, Jerry. So the ports for Active Directory to work properly in your cloud environment are right in front of you guys. If this is not set up, then of course something will go wrong at some point. Maybe a password getting reset on a VPN, maybe a password trying to get back and doing a caching, or try to do a security with Active Directory and getting that domain connection and getting talking and all that kind of stuff requires what? Ports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it requires all that stuff, priority levels and everything. So by looking at this, by deploying a pre-built, what's that, template, you get to understand things very quickly without getting stuck too much in the beginning. And then maybe you should create your own fresh server and compare these two together, and then make a domain controller, and then see where you're going to get stuck in your learning if you want to learn some advanced stuff in future. This is what I'm calling advanced stuff right here, okay? So if you understand all these things, at some point you get to know all these replication ports, file replication ports, password changing ports, all this stuff. If you get to understand this, to be honest, you are at the level where you can clearly become a pretty good sysadmin and make pretty good money, right? Because this is not some small stuff right here. You and I would be little hesitant in some of the areas because I'm not too good at it, right? I don't work on this stuff on every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at least I understand some of the things, like if I'm deploying a VPN to a client and I'm saying this is the whole VPN solution that I'm going to give you, of course, then I need to know about every single thing that VPN touch, specifically about ports, specifically about firewall stuff, right? We're going to talk about that later on. But this is why I choose template. And if I go back to my machine and I open it, I should be able to do a lot of different things right now. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And once you open that with a domain controller, RDP running and everything is running right now. So let's go ahead and, why is it not opening? Oh, it's right here. So as you guys can see, if I come over here now, I still will use my same username and password to get in because, oh, okay. Did I change different password? There you go. I'll put but if this time if I logged in, what is the name of this machine? Check it out. Before it was what? It was just only DC, right? What is the name now? It's the whole.
Now it's DCCEC.
DC,
JobSkillshare.org.
DC, JobSkillshare.
JobSkillshare.org. There you go. Great job. And then now if I come back to and show it to you guys, all the domain controller functions are going to start working with the default group policy got applied. Everything is applying right now. So this is where you have the ability now to, even in the cloud environment, if you deploy another virtual machine, let's say Windows 10 machine, you got to learn from two machines. You can learn what? You can learn about deployments. You can learn about group policy. You can learn about DHCP. You can learn about DNS. You can learn about file resource manager stuff that I showed you guys. You can learn about print management. You can learn about so many things just from two machines. And how much does that require? It doesn't require much, right? So if you're going to run this on a virtual box, that's still a good thing. I never discourage you from virtual box type of implementation. It's still good. It's free. It's on your computer. If you have a 16 GB RAM, it's still free. You guys can do it. But it's just going to be, what are you using? A disk? Is it SSD, or is it just a normal hard disk? If it's a normal one, then you're going to have some trouble. Trouble as in, like, it's going to be annoying. It's not going to be fast as this, right? If you're using SSD, then it's going to be much more fun, and you're going to be not getting annoyed too much, because things, even small things, are going to just annoy the hell out of you, right? So here, if you come over here, you can open Active Directory, and then of course after that, you should start learning about more of a basic level Active Directory learning that you have done from our free courses, from our YouTube, from our videos, from our live training. You should come over here and start beating the hell out of Active Directory as a help desk. Start resetting the password, using some scripts, changing passwords, and then getting into more advanced stuff or remoting into this machine. Now, other thing that you can really do with the cloud and your own local network, you can really learn the skills of remote troubleshooting, meaning you can do Zoom on these two machines, right? You can deploy a VPN on these two machines. You can deploy something that is more of like a Zuho Assist that I showed you guys. So if you guys want to learn about that stuff, then you should really go to my other playlist, which is called what? We have started with KevTech channel. We've started remote IT skill training, but there's another one too that I showed, remote troubleshooting, remote troubleshooting skills for help desk. That's specifically for help desk, showing some of the tools that we use to troubleshoot machines on a network and when they are connected to the VPN, or if they even are online and we need to get into their machines as a help desk. So you can even use these type of technologies or these type of products inside your cloud network and inside your what network? Your local VirtualBox network, or if you have a ESXi setup, then you should use something like that to connect these two together. Now, do you guys remember that how I added the Active Directory in the cloud in my last training, and how I installed a virtual machines inside my local, and through the VPN we connected together? That was a pretty cool project, right? I'm sure you guys learned something from that, because that showed you a little bit different stuff, right?
Yeah.
The one you did 2 days ago?
Yeah, the one that I did 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was helpful for sure.
Yeah.
So guys, this is how you deploy an Active Directory inside Azure. Now, another thing that you guys should be thinking about, how are we managing computers these days in Azure? Does anybody know? Like, if let's say I want to know about, is that computer online? Is it what kind of, okay, I want to know a little bit more about that computer. I want to do like more of a management, just to say I have a full place to just want to see all these computers running and everything. Is there any place in
PDQ?
no, PDQ, that's more of like software deployment and stuff. In Azure, I'm talking about specifically in Azure portal. Like here. Would this be considered more like a management area? Kind of, yeah, right? It tells you it's a virtual machine, status is running. But what if you have a lot of different type of machines on premises and you're using Active Directory inside Azure? Can you manage those machines inside Azure?
Well, we're supposed to have something, some tool, special tool for that.
We have a tool that can do even both, but most likely this is used for on premises. It's called, watch this guys, it's called Arc. Azure, what is that?
Arc.
Azure Arc, look at this right here. It says organize and govern all your servers, right? It says anywhere it is. It could be single, scalable, management. You can even use other stuff in there too. But if you click on manage server, guys, this is how it's gonna look like. If I have a laptop inside my on-premises area, all I have to do what? I have to click what? I have to click on add here. And when I click add, what will happen? They're gonna give me this script. And when you get this script, you run that on the machine, and it's gonna ask you for the username and the password for the Azure. You're gonna have to have an admin access. And what will happen, guys? You're gonna get this. The machine running inside your office is going to show up in your Azure. It's not going to be actually getting managed from here. The compute is not going to be against your, it's not going to come as a money. They're not going to charge you for it, but you can manage it for free. So let's say if you have this free trial, guys, you guys can actually run machines inside over here in a vSphere virtual machine, VirtualBox, and then run that script, download it, run it over here, guys, and then you can see the same stuff in Azure right here. Does it make sense to you guys? So right now, this way you can come over here and you can change the title of these tags. Like, this is my laptop from Canada. This is my laptop from, from here. And the window monitors are different thing. Monitors for logging and stuff like that. This is specifically designed for you to manage your machines, because there's a big thing about this. You can deploy Azure policy on top of your local machines. Now, do you see you have group policy, right? But you can, if you put that script in there, you can put some of the policy that Azure is going to bring to you. So what is the biggest thing about this? You can bring the security from cloud to your local machines. I mean, that's a pretty big thing to me, because now I'm using something very powerful. At the same time, I'm implementing some of the policies that is in cloud right now, right? Is it making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So at some point in future, you probably will be given this task to, can you guys put all these desktop on Azure and manage it? How would that be done? Just exactly how I showed you now, right? You download the script, you just run it on the machine, and it will automatically show up over here. And it's going to show you all the statuses. You can put alerts on it. You can put monitor on it. You can put tags on it. You can put access control on it. You can put a lot of stuff on it. And it tells you the version of that machine, all that kind of stuff. Okay? So that's how you're going to be definitely doing management. Another management area inside the Azure where you're going to probably do your job is what? Is mainly about now. Like if I say you're going to get hired right now, and most likely you're going to be working where?
Active Directory.
Azure Active Directory. Is Azure Active Directory the same, the one that we just deployed?
I guess no.
No.
No, not at all.
I think so.
Not at all. These are two different technologies, two different things. Both are separated. They have no connection between each other, okay? You can make it connected by using some tools like Sync, AD Sync and stuff like that. They have the tools. So if I come over here and there are, let me see if I can think about this stuff correctly now. I'm forgetting it right now. Hold on. Where do I go? Oh, I was on the same page. I'm like, where did it go? It's like right in front of me. I'm like, what the hell? Am I losing my mind? So guys, Azure AD Connect. So I can bring that tool, install it on my local Active Directory server right here. And then that's going to become what? Then what am I going to call this type of method, this type of infrastructure, this type of deployment? What am I going to call this? On premises and hybrid. It's like a hybrid environment, right? So you as a technician, when you get a call from somebody that we need to add a user in this type of environment, where do you go to add a user first?
To Active Directory and
to your local Active Directory usually, but they can make it both ways if they want to do it. But most likely a lot of people are going to prefer just what you're used to. As a help desk, you want to go in and do one job at a time. You don't want to mix it for people. So if you are going to be given a job to add a new user, so then this vendor can get into our application on Azure, then of course you're going to have to do that process. But then there's other processes too that we are using. You may need to add a vendor directly in Azure by giving them what? By going to Azure and then doing what? Add what? Add a new guest user. So then if that person have an Azure environment, they can just get, yeah, there you go, Gene, you got it correct, on-prem server. So as a guest user, you can add them. And of course, you can come over here. Now, if you already have Office 365 users, they're going to show up over here. If it's already connected with your on-prem server, they're all going to show up over here. But it's going to say on-prem. On the source, it's going to say what? Here, there's going to have a server right here, right? It's not going to say Azure Active Directory if this is called, both are connected, right? And the other powerful feature about this is that, of course, you're going to come in, you're going to start looking for a lot of different things. Okay, you can click over here, you can do security. A lot of people will be using this for their benefits, and using cloud type of technology. It becomes very powerful and very easy to manage. You can do audit logs right here. If somebody gets locked out, you want to see why they're getting locked out like 10 million times, you can do that. You can also connect your devices with Azure Active Directory. There's an option inside your machine right now in Windows 10. You try to join a computer to domain. There's on the bottom, it says, join a computer to the Azure Active Directory. Yes, there's option right there, okay? So it's already happening, guys. That's why people are asking in job interviews, right? Then another big area that you may be working, because a lot of people use Azure Active Directory not just for some fun reason. There's a specific and a very big reason. What is that? That's what applications that we are using these days to connect Azure Active Directory. So when you try to go to portal.office.com, or let's say you go to zoom.com, you go to some college and you click on their access, and then they say sign in with Office 365. How is that happening? Where is it coming from? It's coming from here, guys. It's coming from this enterprise level application. It already does that for your pre-built applications like Exchange. It already connected that for you right here. You see this right here, right? So if I come here, Exchange is already using that service. That's why we're getting connected with multiple different accesses, right? So if you're going to deploy an application, then you're going to be working heavily in this area, but that's very advanced stuff for you guys right now. Nobody's going to let you just come and deploy an application right now. That's just not going to happen in the beginning. So, but what's going to happen for you as a help desk? What can they say that I need to give that CMS editor, content management system administrators? I want to give this new person an access into this application. Who's going to do that job?
Sysadmin, I guess.
Not really.
No?
Yeah.
Help desk.
Help desk. Usually it's going to be help desk, because the sysadmin deploys a solution, right? They don't create, they don't do repetitive work to add users again and again. They don't do that. In some environments they may, but usually the concept of normal sysadmin is like they deploy a solution, they work with you, they know, they understand all these systems, sign-ins, you know, connecting sign-ons, a different type of IDs, different type of connectors, different type of manifest files. These are all the files that I'm just talking. They will do all that kind of work. They will do all that crappy work, right? And then once they get it done, then if somebody needs an access, who gives an access? Help desk.
Help desk, okay.
But this is also then, if it's an on-premises server, you don't even have to come over here then. You can add a person in the group and it gets added over here, right? Because it's synced. Are you guys getting the whole point right now, right? Like why am I talking about all this stuff? Because it's a skill that you guys need to start to understand more. Even if you're not deploying an application, try to come over here and play around with it. At least you guys can add a user right here, right? At least you guys can do that, right? You can come over here and pick one user and just add it, right? What this does is that it just gives you that hands-on feeling. So when you go to the job interview, you can even talk about your experience in a lab environment, but on Azure, but on a VMware, which I say it makes more sense and it's hold more value for you in the interviews. When you say VirtualBox, they don't see this kind of stuff. They don't take you seriously. Am I getting my point to you guys? I know some people may get hurt a little bit. The people who love VirtualBox, and nothing against them. I know they love VirtualBox, but
I like VMware.
But I'm being. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yes, you were saying like if you go like on an interview or something, it's okay to say that you lab these things on your own, right?
100%. You should definitely say it. 110%. You should, even if you're doing a VirtualBox, you should say it. It's better than nothing. 110%.
Right. Because
you're saying something that I want to hear. I want to hear IT stuff from you, a little bit of IT stuff. If you come with a basic paper A+ certification knowledge, then there's too many like you out there.
Right.
So then I, as a hiring manager, I need to be a little bit, be more, I don't know, how do you say that? I need to help my IT team a little bit more than that, right? I just need to cancel out some people that are too basic. They're just not, they have not done a little bit more than other people. But you're going there, you're winning my heart right now, or my mind, that maybe, man, I should really give this person a try because he's talking a little bit more than just basics.
Right.
And if you look at it, the things that I'm teaching you is also not advanced, guys. This none of this stuff should be too advanced for you right now. This is just product available out there. You're getting in there and you're just playing around with some users here and there. You don't need to know, you don't need to understand anything at this point right now, right? You don't need to know how to deploy an application. Nothing at all. All you need to know is to getting into it so you can talk about it in the beginning. Because every single company will have their own processes where they'll have their own documentation, and they will not let you just come over here and create an application on your own. You got to follow some procedure, even as a sysadmin. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, that's kind of like what I wanted to show you guys, that you guys should really utilize this. Okay. So any question before we jump on to something over here in a VMware environment?
I like virtual labs.
Virtual labs.
Yeah, I like using VirtualBox.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, VirtualBox is my first option that I started, based on how I teach people and where they get stuck and where I got stuck with them. It became more of like a tedious thing at the end. So I try to tell people that maybe if you have your own server and you get a ESXi installed on your server, that may be a better option than VirtualBox. But again, if you have a laptop and you don't want to invest that money on the server, then why you invest? You can really learn this stuff in the VirtualBox as well. Nothing. There's nothing. You can definitely go with the interview and you can still pass the interview. There's nothing. It's just like two different approaches, guys. You guys can try that. If that doesn't work, then try this. If this doesn't work, then go back to VirtualBox. Right? Everything works, right?
Correct.
But what I'm saying is better than nothing. You cannot just go out there with extreme, theoretical knowledge. I just saw one of my video from Danish or KevTech, and they were showing this stuff, and you're saying that to them, right? Our names are not going to hold that kind of value in the interviews, by the way. If you tell somebody that, guy, yeah, so what did you do? Yeah, so I follow Danish. He's a YouTuber. He's coming on a YouTube, and that's, come on, guys. That's just, to me, that's just not a good way to do it.
It could work sometimes.
Oh, look, if you want to try it, like I said, there's nothing wrong about it. It's just that some things are little done in a way that you want to win their minds in a more professional way, right?
Yeah. Well, they will see what you're interested at least.
Yeah. And of course, then it's not about like you shouldn't talk about this stuff. This could be more of a friendly conversation that I follow some YouTubers and they have done this type of stuff. So that's a different conversation than somebody asking you, how do you learn things? So this could be maybe a ending of the conversation in your interview, right? So you can say something like, I use VMware, I use VirtualBox to practice here and there. And then I also use some resources like, labs.
Skillshare.com.
Yeah, you can say something. You can say something like, I use YouTube channels where they are very focused on skills. Rather than just saying our names and not completing the sentence would not make sense. You should add some skills in there too. Because you want to make it sound to that person that, oh yeah, this person is talking a little different. He's not just talking about, I just love this one YouTuber and I want to go and take, I love to sit with them. Yeah. I love to chill with them. Not like that. You want to say more, right? You want to talk about more of the stuff that matters, right? So guys, so that's kind of like what I wanted to share with you guys. Now, this is another piece where a lot of people are going to start asking questions. That virtualization, and why am I pushing people so much on virtualization? And some people get confused, and when they do some VirtualBox stuff or VMware ESXi stuff, then they think that this is virtualization. Virtualization is way bigger than this, right? So just to give you guys an example, I'm going to pull up a paint right here just to show you guys. And this is more now, we're going a little bit more above the help desk skills now, okay? Because I know some of you are also going for junior admin level jobs. I know Jerry is working in IT. I know Roberto is working in IT. Jerry's been working for a long time. I know at some point they want to move up. So now I'm kind of like going a little bit above, okay, guys? So virtualization, guys, is not specifically about you doing something on a VBox or something. Let's say I'm going to consider this a VirtualBox. And that's running inside your computer right now, right? Inside your OS operating system. And now you're running VirtualBox. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Sense? And also you got something like ESXi, which is running a bare metal server. Let's do, why am I using this? Let's do ESXi. This is a ESXi. And let's say this is running directly on a server operating system and hardware, and it's using its RAM and everything directly. And you, from an IP address, which you see right behind my screen, I'm accessing ESXi right now, and you're using that access through a web browser. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people who are new and getting, they want to train themselves, they start with just a single, virtualization. It could be a VirtualBox or it could be a ESXi. So what is the problem over here? This is exactly what we're talking about right now as a domain joint computers and a work group computers. So when you learn directly on a VBox and when you learn directly on an ESXi, it seems like you're learning on what? You're learning a work group type of environment, right? So that's still not a pretty good way for you to move up and advance your career from help desk. You gotta do what? You gotta do more, right? So when we talk about virtualization now, this is where I will kind of like confidently tell you that I am personally not going to recommend VirtualBox for this type of learning now, sysadmin learning. And why did I choose to show you this in the beginning? Why? Because it holds a very big value in the market when you do VMware learning or Hyper-V learning. That's a little bit what people are expecting you to know from a sysadmin type of interview. So Jerry, if tomorrow you're going to go for an interview and you are going for a sysadmin position, then my recommendation for you is to invest into your own hardware and try to convert that into more of a ESXi type of environment. And specifically, I'm going to talk about Vcenter. And of course, Hyper-V is going to be also the same way. You're going to be managing Hyper-V stuff in a more connected environment, more managed environment. Then people are going to start respecting you more about these terms. So if you tell them, I got a VirtualBox and I did a nested installation and I did some crooked stuff with a VirtualBox and I made it happen, that's still, you wasted a lot of time talking about this stuff. They don't want to hear that stuff, right? But you started with VirtualBox, you started with VMware. Two things will make a huge difference when you're going for advanced positions like sysadmin and or VMware virtualization administrator or Hyper-V administrator. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So the reason I say that you need to understand then this process is that if you guys want to learn about VMware stuff, then you cannot rely on ESXi alone. What am I talking about over here? What is more than this then?
Vcenter.
Vcenter, perfectly explained. So if you come over here now, of course, the only ability that I have, and I don't know if this is the best option that I have in this platform, but of course I will also recommend you guys to spin up your own Vcenter in your environment. You can do this right here, guys. If you guys want to look for free solution, here you go. You can get a pretty solid big server. And when I say solid server, I'm talking about you investing at least above $600+ right? Why am I saying that? Because you need, first of all, a good SSD, and that's going to be at least more than like, let's say 1 TB or even 2 TB. They're not that expensive, guys, right? So let's say I'm going to do 2 TB right here. Got it? This is a SSD right here. Then at least 128 GB RAM. If you guys want to do enterprise level stuff, trust me, this is what I'm talking about. I know if you're going to, I don't know if you're really going to get something in $600, you may be investing more. And also, you need a little bit more for networking. You cannot rely on one network in any type of enterprise level learning in IT. I can guarantee you on that. You're going to get stuck in many areas, okay? So you're going to have to invest in some of the network adapters and cards. You have to invest in at least 2 or 3 ones for you to be able to do some advanced stuff, guys. And you want to learn this stuff without any stoppages. So this is not for the help desk guys. I don't want to discourage you guys. I can't do this. This is totally not for you. You can even, guys, who should watch it and just kind of take ideas from it. This is for the people who says that I get stuck in help desk and I want to move up. Now, this is the time you should invest in your own hardware, okay? Or you can go for other solutions. So here you have this ability right here. So what am I asking? So here in this one big server, you don't need to buy 10 different servers to do the Vcenter working. You can do what? What kind of solution you can implement with the ESXi that can make it work for you guys? So we already know that you can only put ESXi on this server like this right here. If I put an ESXi, it's going to be running on top of this server, and that's going to be only one ESXi. Can you do something more than that?
Well, virtual machines on the top of that.
Good job with the word virtual machines, but what kind of virtual machines? Like if I say, can we even make an ESXi virtualized? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that called?
Good question.
I said, oh, I didn't click fast enough. Nested.
Nested, guys. So here, let me show you guys.
Nested.
I mean, when I have so many members taking training on almost every third week, and I'm giving out 30 GB RAM. I'm giving out 250 GB. Do you really think I'm buying friggin' in a month 10 different servers for them? 15 different servers. I mean, of course, that's going to be crazy. I'll just do 2 or 3 sessions and I'll just run away because I probably can't even afford that, right? And I'll give you one example right now how expensive these things are, just to open up your eyes a little bit for this stuff. I'll just take you right here. Guys, tell me, how much does it cost? How much Microsoft is costing you if you buy a 28-core server with 266 GB RAMs? Forget about this stuff. This is the one why they're charging you. How much are they charging you per month?
4,000, even more than that, almost 5.
So you can deploy one ESXi or one server inside their environment, but they want you to buy, I think you have to buy 3 or 4 server like these to be able to get that kind of technology working on Microsoft. What does this say? Azure VMware solution. And when you have to buy that solution, this is for a big, large corporate environment. So what they're doing now, they're taking the on-premises type of ESXi environment and they're putting into the cloud. And this is already happening, guys. It's already connected with your on-premise. It's going to pull up all of these images that's running right here in my Vcenter, let's say, and it's going to grab all these virtual machines and drop it where? In the cloud. In the cloud, that is also running the same thing that I'm running in my lab environment right now. But now I'm giving this server to Microsoft. So VMware is just giving their product and Microsoft is using their servers and they're charging you $4,000 for that kind of heavy power right there, right? So you can think about this thing gets really expensive. So you can either buy your own server to save money and not invest in something like, of course, you're never going to buy something like that for lab. That's going to be crazy if someone did that, right? But you can also use even smaller level, you can even do like probably 62 GB RAM or 72 GB RAM, and you can still do nested. So if you come to the virtualization, all you got to do is to install the ISO of ESXi right here, and you have to run. So just like in this is ESXi, you guys have what? You guys have power to install virtual machines. In this, you're going to run on top of the server. You're going to run a virtual machine, but you're going to call it what? You're going to come over here, and you're going to basically call it what? ESXi 1, and then here you're going to pick other. And then what are you going to pick over here? Look at this. ESXi 6.5 from later, but VMware does not support this feature. But there's a reason behind it. If they start supporting this feature, then people are going to do what? They're not going to invest money.
Yeah, they'll multiply them.
Right? They're not going to invest money, right? So of course they're going to come over here, and then you can pick a, let's say, data center, and here I'm going to come over here, and then for ESXi, of course, why I said that you should really go for a bigger RAM, because you're giving ESXi power to somebody else. So one of my member is going to get 30 GB RAM, then that's not a joke. You need that RAM power then, right? So over here, we need to give that RAM power to our users. And also another big thing about this is that when you're doing a nested ESXi and you're trying to do your lab very nicely, then you need what? You need CPU power too. So your server has to have a pretty good CPU, right? So if I come over here and I assign 8 CPUs to this one virtual machine, what will happen to my server?
It'll blow up.
My server is going to go down.
Crash.
It's going to definitely crash because I haven't even added a second ESXi nested one, and still it's going to crash. Why? Because I have used all of my resources. So I can't do that. My server, even if I'm giving this nested to my members, my server, the one that I'm using for lab, has to be a monster, right? So that's for you guys. You don't have to go to that level because you guys are not giving services out like me, right? You guys are doing it for yourself. So you can even get away with a 12 vCPUs, not 12, probably 24 vCPUs, which comes with probably a 12 cores or something like that, and maybe less than that too. I think 8. I'm forgetting it. So maybe you guys can even go for an 8-core server and then go for like a lighter version of 72 GB RAM. That's going to cost you probably $300-400 on eBay. Get it deployed and start working on this stuff if you want to learn this stuff really at your home at the level of business type of level, right? So then, of course, you're going to do that stuff, and then you're going to pick what? You're going to pick which ISO right here. You're going to pick the ISO of ESXi, right?
Mhm.
Not a Windows 10 or 17 server, right? Sorry, 19 or 16. So you're going to pick the ISO of ESXi and then install that. And then what will happen after installation? What will happen? You're going to get an IP address just like this one, and then you will see exactly this page like that. And it's going to say this many GB and everything like that. So you got out of your server in your lab. Just do this again. In this one physical server that you bought, then you gave out some of the resources from this server to one virtual ESXi, right? 6.7. So then what do you do with the second one? You get another one, right? And then you get another one, right? And then you leave some space or power for your server to make sure it doesn't go down right here. Got it?
Yeah.
So you got 3 hosts running inside your business, in your home lab that you want to learn something more at a business level. Then what you should do, go online and start learning about Vcenter, which I'm not going to go through it right now. But in our labs, you don't even have to do that because I don't know why this is probably, I lost my connection here. But if you guys are premium members, which most of you are, some of you are in this lab right now, you guys should do show all titles, come all the way down, guys. I think Leila and all of you guys are hearing me right now, right?
Yes.
So if you come all the way to down over here, you guys want to learn about virtualization in future, these labs are available, and they're creating a brand new labs right now for 6.72. So they're creating brand new labs, which I just got the roadmap from them, which I'm very happy. So even if you click on this right here, guys, look what happened. They're giving you domain controllers, they're giving you a vCenter, and they're giving you 3 ESXi hosts inside your lab environment, which you do not have to do this. If you're a live member, then I will not recommend you guys to go out there and invest money because you already paid for this stuff. You paid for this for 1 year. So don't do this mistake by just going out there and I'm going to buy a $600 or $1,000 server and then realize that, look, I have such a powerful access right here.
Yeah.
So because you can come over here and you can actually learn the virtualization the proper way and not just from my video that is just showing you theoretically in a big picture. The picture is just to break you inside of this learning tomorrow when you're ready for this stuff, okay? For the people who are not investing in our platform, then that's your option. You can go for a server like this, install the nested virtualization, go for vCenter learning, download the 60 days trial from VMware, and recreate everything and try to learn from people, from different courses, from online courses, from YouTube courses, they're freely available. And then try to do vMotion, try to do snapshot, try to like destroy one machine, see if it can come back to a second ESXi host, because that's in a realistic world. What happens if a bad thing will happen, guys? Vilad, what will be the bad thing that will happen to me in this environment?
It will be hacked, some of them, or something like that.
If my domain controller is working over here, DC right here, what will happen if my ESXi 1 goes down?
I'll deploy another one.
No,
Quickly.
you already deployed 3 right here. Look, you already deployed 3. My domain controller is working on this host. Let's say this host has an IP address 1.1.1.1. This is 1.1.1.2. This is 1.1.1.3. If my domain controller if my host goes down right here, what will happen to my domain controller?
It will go down.
You'll jump on the second one.
The second one. If my second one goes down, jump into the third one. How does that work? That requires what? Some kind of configuration, right?
Yes.
It doesn't come, by the way, on a default. It doesn't work that way. You got to do this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So by learning this stuff is the reality right now, guys. When they say on-premises systems administrator, I can guarantee you 90% of the time you're going to see a setup like this. If it's not 90% setup like this, then what are you going to see? Another one, the big one, another most commonly used is which one? If it's not a VMware, then what's the other one?
Hyper-V.
Perfect, Hyper-V. Here you go. Let me show it to you guys. So this is Hyper-V now. And this works under the operating system. Like it has to be 2012, 16, 19 installed. And remember, guys, you guys did a lab that day?
Why so big?
Huh? This is because it's something wrong with my my what's that resolution on this. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna figure it out. Maybe I'll figure it out after this training. I just couldn't. Maybe Kev can help me. He's good in this stuff. So I thought I'm like, why is this freaking not working? But anyway.
I need eyeglasses.
All right, guys, let me fix it. Hold on, let me fix this, guys. I know how to fix this. Hold on. I know this is annoying. Here, new share. Stop sharing. All right, guys, can you guys see now?
It's bigger actually.
What about now?
Oh, it's fine now. Yeah.
Perfect.
There we
There
go.
we go.
So guys, if you are, now remember that day I gave you direct access on internet and how you guys logged in. Now, you may also think about stuff like that in future. When you get good at this stuff, tomorrow you can do things on your own. Some of the stuff I'm providing is basically based on my, what do you call it? My business, my platform, the way I do things, right? So how did I learn all these things? Because tomorrow you're going to be at the level where you're going to be creating your own solutions for yourself. If you get to that level where you can utilize all of this information. So for example, this is a perfect example right here. If somebody, you guys should be thinking right now, Vilad, you saw something similar. You should be thinking, where are those server that day you guys I gave you guys access? Where is it coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense to you? By looking at the screen, what do you think?
Hyper-V.
Who said Hyper-V?
Me, Jerry.
Jerry, exactly. If you guys look at this access right now, I'm going to log into it right now. Maybe I'll just do it this way and just see if it works.
1, 2, 3.
Guys, this is a typical sysadmin with a little bit more than sysadmin type of skills, but it's a typical sysadmin skills right here displayed in a real project. Here's a project. I want to give you guys access online to my servers. Where are all these servers, first of all, running from? Am I creating this operating system inside some on my own? Of course, I don't have that kind of capabilities, right? So look at the names right here. It says all what? All of these names are what? Admin what?
Admin 1, admin 2, admin 3.
Okay, so now you guys tell me, you guys already named it. Where is it coming from? Admin?
From Hyper-V.
From Hyper-V, guys. But there got to be more than this for me to publicly available this kind of stuff to you. It requires what kind of knowledge now? I need to know about what?
Hyper-V.
No. For me to give you this kind of access to the internet directly like that without you getting a VPN installation, you just need a username and password and you boom, you just got into a machine. How is that possible? What kind of knowledge do I need to know for me to do this kind of stuff for you guys?
Network.
Virtualization.
Virtualization is number one. We already let's say concluded that because I needed to know about virtualization for me to give you that kind of powerful access to so many people at one time. I need to know about virtualization. It's not possible through a physical stuff, right? Because that's too much expensive stuff. Nobody does that. So virtualization is done. I need to know about number one, virtualization skills. Great job with that, Leila. What is the second skill that I need to do to be able to perform this kind of stuff for you guys?
You need to set up the ports on each computer so you can have remote access to them.
Each computer is also a good answer, but it may not be in each computer. It could be just a whole network, right? Now, if a network...
Is it Active Directory?
Active Directory is something internal to the server right now, because the project is that I want to give you guys access. So let me give you a little, make more sense out of it. Can you guys see my paint?
Yeah.
So the project is this. I wanted you guys to practice online on my servers with me in one of my training. So I want you guys to go online from your web browser to access my server. So what do I need to know as a sysadmin? First thing, I need to give something in more bulk way, I need to give out in quantity. I need to know more stuff or more ability to give more access to a lot of people. So I need to know about virtualization. You got that right?
Mm-hmm.
So virtualization, we got that done. The second thing I need to know about is what?
Well, how to set up web server?
I need to know
Your
about
network.
Yeah, because without me not knowing the network, how can I even let my virtual box or virtual host or virtual machine get out of my network? So I need to know about network, right?
Yeah.
So once I know about network, and that should be the first thing for you guys, because you guys are learning that from what? From scratch, right? CompTIA Plus, our courses, fundamental and stuff like that. That should be the first thing. Then, of course, the second thing I like to push people on just to kind of get understanding on virtualization. So because you're doing labs on top of virtualization, so you don't get stuck anywhere, okay? So you got that these two done. What is the third thing that I need to do to understand and give you guys this access? More than network now, I need to know how the web browsers and how internet works on public, right?
Yeah.
So in our previous examples, I taught you guys about web servers. That's a perfect example too. You guys should go back to that session and learn about that IIS techniques that I showed you guys, right? So I need, inside the virtualization, I may have some kind of server setup that is giving you ability to get to this web browser. It's not running on 10, 15 servers, right? It's running on one server or two servers, right? So then, of course, I need to know more than that also. I need to know what. Can I give you guys, like, I can give you two methods, right? I can, in our local server, when people take our training, we don't buy a certificate for that kind of stuff. Why? Because every server has a different link. So we're not going to just invest in something that is just, for 30 days. But if something is proper for many years or a year or something like that, then you invest in what? Securing the website, right?
Correct.
So then, what kind of skills do you need to secure a site? You need to know how to implement
how to add certificate.
So once you do all of that stuff, guys, when you do a project like this one time in your life, to be honest, you have covered a lot at this point then. And it doesn't have to be for people to, this is not for people, this is not recommended for people that don't have jobs, by the way, because then you are just playing around with yourself. You're playing with your mind right now. It's too much for you. It's recommended for people who are what? Who are already in help desk, spend some time, and they want to take on some type of project that they can completely finish from scratch to all the way to the end goal, where a user can go from an internet, from a different network, and access something, whatever it is. Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
I always use two different networks for a reason, because it has to get out of my firewall, and I need to understand that network. Because in a real world environment, it's very highly unlikely that you're going to be working inside the building and you're just doing your work inside the building, right? There's something that you're doing for that company that is always touching outside products, selling some products. They have vendors, they have members. Like you guys are my members, right? Some of them are my members who goes to my site, right? They buy membership. Membership has to run. API has to work. Transaction has to be secure. It has to go to PayPal. It has to go to whatever, different areas, right? So some of these things you are going to be doing in your work, and some you're not going to be doing. It's going to be other people. So that's the whole story of this whole video today, to give you a little bit more understanding how technology is currently working, and why when people start taking interviews right here with this VMware job and they're paying $100,000, does it make sense to you guys now? Why would people not pick you if you don't know anything, right? Why would they just invest that kind of energy on you, right?
Yeah, they kind of not secure if you don't know.
Yeah, but are you guys does it make sense to a lot of people? Because a lot of people come to me, to my platform, and they have this one thing, and one day I have actually a person who told me that I'm disappointed. I told him that, he said that I learned about sysadministration stuff 5 years ago. And I can say, brother, 5 years is too long, but you want to become a sys? He's like, I don't want to become a help desk. I'm like, okay, you don't want to become a help desk, then I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Are you ready? Don't mind me. I'm going to test you, but don't mind me. And I say, tell me, how do you fix this problem in Active Directory? It's a very basic problem. And then I ask him, he said, I don't know about it. I was like, okay, how do you fix this in Office 365? And that's very help desk type of question. And then I ask him a very basic question on how to, troubleshoot things in a very basic level. He couldn't answer none of it. And I told him, brother, you are too outdated right now. How will someone give you a job that are doing right now? They're talking about cloud, they're talking about virtualization, and I asked him the same thing about VMware stuff. He didn't know about VMware. He didn't know about Hyper-V. So I'm like, and he said, I'm not getting any calls. I'm like, why would you get a call? Right? Doesn't make sense to you guys. And he said, I'm very disappointed. And not because of me. I told him, he's like, I'm very disappointed because I'm finding this out. And I was thinking that I'm ready. So guys, you guys have to be realistic to yourself too at some point, right? My job, my training is always about telling you something that's real right now. And I'm not going to give you something that's going to give you some sweet wording out there, right? I'm going to be always a little aggressive when I talk about jobs right here, because if I'm not like that, then my members are not performing well. My members sometimes get lazy and they don't just try to apply. They think that I'm not getting replied. And I say, how many times did you apply throughout these 2 months? And one member say 2 times. I'm like, how the hell are you going to get jobs? There's no way, absolutely no way. So are you guys getting my point right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Danish.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hey, so these computers that you have right now here, the admin 1, admin 2, they're not accessed via RDP?
No, it's using a different tool. It's basically called Open Mesh, right? So what it is, basically, it's like a client running on side the computer, and then you have to make the client work on the internet. So the client is running directly on side that machines, and then it basically runs through the port, and it gives you this access. But as a sysadmin, you have to do a little bit more than that. You have to open the ports. You have to work the certificate out on that same server. You have to make sure that all these connections are working, right? So there's a little bit of, if you ever, I mean, it's getting more advanced, but if you are getting to Node.js, this is a different type of, like, it's like a web development and backend development. So what you can do is you can create a code that can actually talk at the backend and that can talk in the front end too. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm not the guy who does this stuff. I have a developer. Right?
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing any coding, guys. I don't know anything about coding. I only tell them I need this stuff. I need this to be working like this. I want this to be accessible. Like sometimes we do mock interviews. Like Eddie, you asked me about the mock interview, right? So the current mock interview that we're developing right now, our members are going to get servers access like this with different type of scenarios in there, right? And then they will come over here and then they will have to fix certain things in different servers because it's already messed up. This is going to be a technical mock interview that we're going to start doing soon. Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Something that I will tell Kev Tech to also, maybe if in future, if he feels like this is something that he can do and provide, and hey, I'm more than happy to help him out in his sessions, you know. But I know he has a different process. It is pretty good. You guys should definitely follow his processes too, because he has a very good troubleshooting processes. I am more of a mixture, right? Like help desk here, there projects, different type of things that I'm deployed throughout 5 years of this experience. Then he has this nice, proper ways of troubleshooting, help desk, stuff like that. So the way I like this two combination of our channels is that you don't lose focus, because there's a lot of people in our platform that's been our members for 5 years and they're way above help desk right now, right? So it's injustice for me to make 3 to 4 hours of videos and just talk about help desk. Doesn't make too much sense. If you go to our, sorry about our voting on our community, it's always, when I say that do you want me to continue admin skills, there's always 60-40. 60% says yes. 40% says no, keep the entry level. So we got to be fair to them too, right?
Right.
So then this is where KevTech channels can be very nice. And, you know, it's amazing that we have him also here, because then people can not lose focus if they are doing this circle, because they can do stuff from there, come back over here, do stuff from there, come back over here. By the time he start making more videos about sysadmin stuff, then it's going to become another powerful thing, right? I don't know if he's here. Is he here?
I'm still here.
Yeah, so Kev, that's what I'm explaining. Like, I think the combination is pretty awesome, like what we have right now. So people can definitely take benefits, okay? Will I get that privilege? So, Salam, you're getting this access, which everybody got. And once we get the mock interview ready on that access, which I did in my live training, that was like a demo. yes, you are going to get it. Mock interview, everybody has to go through. You can pass your final project without getting mock interview. And that's something new, by the way. I haven't done this with my other members. Some of them have got a job, but the people who have not landed a job, they're going to go through this process, by the way. So that's why I'm going over it. Rahal is here too, man.
Yeah.
Rahal, are you sleeping or what?
Huh?
No, Rahal, there's another member that he's a.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So I think good stuff right here today. I mean, we talked a lot about different things right here.
Mhm.
So yeah, at the same level, not the jack of all the trades, and masters of none. Sysadmin, some exposure to branch. Okay, he's on spot. So that's it, guys. Today is my last session for this long. I'm not gonna come back for almost few more days, and I might come back for smaller live session, or I might just come back on like live IT career type of video. Maybe I'm just live and talking to you guys. But this stuff, of course, I have a training coming soon, and I need a lot of my energy because that's not a joke. I have people sitting with me right now, and we have done 4 or 3 hours of training in one day. So I definitely need that physical, readiness. So again, thank you guys for joining me all the time, and you guys are amazing. You guys, this makes it more fun for me. It's not boring anymore. I'm sure I wouldn't be doing live like this. Another thing, somebody came yesterday and they were a little upset, and I already talked about that. They said that, and I don't want to say the names right here. They said that why don't you offer your labs for free in this hard times? And I tell them that. So here's the thing. And I was like, I am not going to be able to do that because I am not the owner of those labs. And what I'm doing, if people, because they haven't gone through my YouTube channel, but after that, the tone got better because the guy was really upset that he said, your customer service is poor because I asked them to give me a trial and they didn't give me a trial. So I said, first of all, here's the thing, and maybe people may not like me for this. Our platform is not based on customer is always right kind of thing. We do not serve our people like we go after you and buy our labs, right? Eddie, we never came after you guys, right?
No.
So first thing I want to tell people is that when people come to us, they say that they may have this thinking that they may pay for something and they think that they're gonna. If you read our agreements, we say what? We are volunteers and we do our best to help you. But this platform is totally not about customer and we're gonna do everything for customer. We're gonna do what we think is good for our members. We are members ourselves. So one thing is that person started to got a little bit aggressive. So I was like, if you got that aggressive tone, then you can definitely find another platform. We're not up to your standard. So I'm very open to that. I'm not scared of losing my members because of this tone. I don't care about that stuff. But what I care is respect for the people who are working voluntarily with you. So if you don't respect them, then me as a platform founder, I can definitely remove my members from this platform. So I have no worry about that. And I don't care about money over here. Like they can come and say, oh no, we rely on customer service because that's what we want. We want people to be there for always 24/7 for us, and this platform is totally not for you then. So that's why we don't go out. We don't do marketing. We don't do email marketing. We don't just come in and trick you into things. We say that these labs are not our labs. We are content creator with them, and we do the same process. Like we make videos on top of it, and we give this powerful access and one membership, and we do all this crazy stuff for you. So that's something a lot of people who are in IT, they really appreciate. And they will come back to us and, man, the access that we're giving them is amazing. They really like that kind of approach. But the people who are brand new to this stuff, sometimes they get a little aggressive with us and they're like, man, why are other people are spending $39 a month and I'm getting like a video access and everything. I'm like, that's totally different thing. Who's giving you a full $48,000 value for 1 year in this price? Show me that, right? So it's like some things we can do and some things we just can't do because I'm not the owner of that, right? So I just wanted to give out this little rant at the end because some people, they got pissed off, like, and then I tell them, like, didn't you see me live on YouTube giving the same amount of knowledge that I give people who have spent $1,400 in live trainings? Of course, I'm not giving out the server access and everything, but Eddie is here, Leila is here, everybody, and Rahal is here. There's 4 people sitting here right now that have spent that money. So me to give out to the community, I'm here. I'm giving it to you. And I'm giving 15 hours of stuff. I'm sitting here and doing all that kind of stuff. So at the end, I don't want any thank you from people or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'm doing my job. And at the end, if people are still not happy, to be honest, I cannot kill myself, right?
Right.
At the end, that's what I'm gonna say. So again,
Somebody's always gonna be unhappy no matter what. Like, you can't
yeah, I
please
mean, of course,
everybody all the
there's gonna
time.
be always you know, I mean, like I say, our platform may not be for everybody. It may serve a lot of people in this career. It may be a pretty good platform for many, many people because of this hands-on approach. It's different type of teaching. It may help a lot of people, but there are going to be people, they may not like the way we're teaching, may not like the way I'm talking. There's too many things that I have seen these past 5 years that I don't want to start ranting about every single thing, but that's the same case. So that's why I decided to make this platform more of a volunteer-based customer service rather than we be there for you. Like I said, I mean, if that's the process, then we are not up to your standard. You have to look for a different platform. And I hope that makes sense to a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And I will definitely be in touch. And I'm going to be, after my live training, if I'm alive, I am going to join KevTech training. Join his. I'll just sit there, start drinking tea like him today. He didn't speak too much, so I'm going to take my revenge on him that day. No, he's sick. I don't want to make it. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Danny.
Danish, I have only like just one brief question.
Yes.
So I'm going to make live interview with Zach or with our YouTubers.
I saw a comment. I think you probably put the comment because I saw he was, when I was there, he's that he wanted to do a live one-on-one. And like I said, I'm open to every single YouTuber that wants to talk about career. And that's not also shy about me talking about the platform. To be honest, if I go live with somebody, I have to talk about my solutions rather than telling people that I am just going to, first I'm going to tell them that there's a way you can do everything for free, like I do in my platform, right?
Yeah.
But for me to tell people that I have a better solution than just doing things for free, and then even for free stuff, like I have my courses. So, you know, the problem that may create for a lot of YouTubers that may not invite me because they think that I'm a platform and I might go up against their, what do you call that? They may have a little bit of sponsorship going on with other people. You understand, right?
Okay.
So if I say something bad about CompTIA Plus, that might not work with a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm because I am an independent platform on my own, and I see like there are solutions that I have better solutions than other people. Then that they have to know this before they invite me. So basically, I have to just give them a warning that if somebody asks me a question about IT career right now, and they say, "Hey, what is the best way to start IT career?" Then why would I tell a person to go and, take that free course outside that doesn't give you labs or resume or mentorship or anything like that? I'm just gonna say I have a better solution, right? So I might say that. I might definitely. I'm gonna say, yeah, if you want to do it that way, great, do it. But I'm gonna say I have a better solution. But this is where they're gonna maybe think that I am trying to promote, which you can take it positive, they can take it negative. That's
I see.
You see what
I don't know. I look at your service more like a tool than customer service thing. You know, it's like you giving everybody all the stuff is there. You got to put, at the end of the day, you got to put in the work. You got to watch the videos. You got to practice. You got to learn.
Let me give you guys a simple answer. I think Roberto hit the point right there. So when you go to a YouTube channel and a YouTuber is, let's say, well known and respected, and we all respect that YouTuber, usually what will when you ask them that, where should I learn some of the skills in more of like a proper way of like learning? So what kind of platforms you guys already heard about? You guys have heard about this platform, right? Test out, right? Usually they'll talk about, right? Another platform they'll talk about is which one for labs? Practice Lab. Now there may be other platforms like, okay, another one is what? Pluralsight. Here, it's not that I'm running this platform, so I'm gonna go against these platforms. I'll tell you what's happening here. Pluralsight, right? I can't even pronounce that. Pluralsight,
yeah.
And I don't know, this spelling is pretty bad. So here, what's the other one? What's the other one, guys? LinkedIn is pretty good too. LinkedIn Learning is also pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, So LinkedIn is also good and all that kind of stuff, right? So here's the thing, guys. Am I telling people not to go to these platforms? 100%. I tell people that go to these platforms because later on, you're going to need more video knowledge, more people that are training stuff, right? But what are we doing in our platform, guys? Who are our partners? Testout.com and Practice Labs. So in our training, what do? We give you our resources, our own labs, our own servers, which none of these platforms are giving you guys. Who are giving you 30 GB RAM right there? So show me one platform in these three. None of them, right? So for them to do that is not possible. Why is that? Because they're too big.
There are too many members.
There are too many members. Their design is not like that. They're not about mentorship, one-on-one to sit down with you and do all that stuff from scratch. Where I see a problem with this this is more of a solution. But this guy right here and this guy right here are probably better in the beginning than these guys. Why? Because I have too many Pluralsight members coming to our platform because they're starting their career. So there's a missing in the guidance right here, the mentorship area in this area. This is too big. The platform has everything in there. But these two platforms are totally targeted towards what? You getting in, you learning stuff, right?
Are you showing something on your screen?
Oh, man, what am I doing? Guys, I'm so sorry. Man, that sucks. Okay, so guys, this guy right here, the Testout.com, Practice Lab, these are designed for what? For you to go and do something practically. So one is more simulated, another one is more hands-on. So at jobskillshare.org, on top of that, what are we giving you? The servers, right? And even for the membership, premium members, they're getting this access, full library access. So coming back to Roberto's point, I want you to find a membership that gives you that JSS right here too, and then mentorship right here too, and then of course the free stuff that we're doing. I want you guys to find something all in one shot, like one membership. I would like people to do that. So this is why Pluralsight members are coming to us and saying that your platform is more targeted, more hands-on, more mentored, more like guided than Pluralsight. Why? Because Pluralsight is too big. They don't have people sitting for you to come and train you for 15 hours. They're not going to do that. Does it make sense, guys?
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So this is where a lot of newbies makes a mistake when they come over here and they see our prices and they're like, get $1,400 and they're like, oh my God, that's too much. But they're not thinking about this whole thing that we're providing. And then on top of that, resume working, coming back, you going and applying for a job, you coming back to us that you apply to that job and we work on your resume. I mean, who does that? Right? So that whole combination is not available online. Maybe you may see this in more of a like a campus type of teachings, maybe boot camps, but then check their prices versus our prices. I would like you guys to do that as well.
Yeah, it's unique.
So it's unique. That's what I'm saying. We're unique. We're more targeted. We're trying to help people, and that's where we just can't play around with the prices that we have right now. And it's getting more. It got more expensive. Why? Because Practice Lab just jumped their prices all ahead. And I warned people 4 months ago that our prices for Practice Lab is not going to be the same. Why? Because Practice Lab itself are selling these labs, and they are 3 times more than what we were selling people. Now think about that now. A platform trying to sell a lab and you just go in there and you are selling their products and you're working with them and now you got a problem with them.
Right.
Well, I hear you.
So Razor has a good point too. CBT Nuggets is another good one. That's like I said, I never discourage people from not going, like, even though when people do our trainings, why do I go for these platforms like testout.com, CBT, Pluralsight? I tell them to invest in this because this is your investment, guys. This is not your wasting money over here. But invest in it when you are ready. Don't just invest when you're not ready, because then you're going to lose money. because you don't know what to do with this, because you want to invest and you want to ask us. I want to do a sysadmin training. So I have Pluralsight access. I have LinkedIn training. I have every training you can think of. I have almost all of these memberships. So then what I can do, I can tell you which courses to take in that same platform. And I'm not even promoting them. I don't give no codes. I don't do promotions, nothing like that. So that's where, when you ask me, Vilad, am I going to have any issues with that? Like going live with people, I'm going to go live, but then I'm going to talk, right? I'm going to talk about solutions right here. And they may not like it if they are partnered with Pluralsight and they're not partnered with TestOut. And if I say something about Pluralsight, that may hurt them.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not easy for a YouTuber to go back out there and say that I'm going to use this promotion to buy something. And to be honest, everybody is they're giving you the best quality out there. So respect to them, nothing against them. I'm just having a very different situation over here that made conflict with big guys out there, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like to answer your question, but this is the whole, I mean, it's a very complex thing. I didn't create this, to be honest, in one day. It took me 5 years. And every CEO that I have to talk to, I have to present this idea to them and tell them that, because TestOut and Practice Labs are competitors. So how are we able to bring them in on one page? Because what we are offering to people, right? The CEO of Practice Labs sat with me and he's like, I was a system administrator at one point and you are a sysadmin. And so I appreciate what you're doing. And I was like, hey, if you appreciate me, give it to me. And he's like, okay, I'll give you this partnership. It doesn't work that. I went for Pluralsight, guys. Pluralsight told me you're too small. We can't give it to you. This is exactly the Pluralsight manager told me. And I'm like, if I'm too small, then you're going to lose members. And today, Pluralsight members are coming to us. So my thing is this, I'm going to go about these big platforms and I'm going to give them all this, but I'm not going to hide anything. TestOut.com, I went for them and I'm like, guys, I'm not going to sell what you guys are selling it for per month. That's too much for our members. And they're already paying thousands of dollars. They're already paying hundreds of dollars in our premium membership. Why would they come to your platform and then spend another $1,000 for a year? You got to give me something better. If my members pay one time, I got to have to give them at least 3 months, or what, you guys done that, right, Eddie? I got
3 months, right?
You got 3 months access right in the same membership.
Yeah.
So when they pay one time, everything is like in the box, everything is included for you. But I tell members to use it and we force them to use in a such way that it doesn't get wasted, right?
Yeah.
So it's no waste in here, guys.
I would say nothing beats this platform.
So yeah, Leila. So Salam just paid our training. Of course, this is not guys promotion. To be honest, I'm not trying to do this, but it is the reality. Because if I have to tell people there's a better way and there's a very, very effective way, then I'm just bringing all these services to you rather than you getting stuck in your own labs. And everybody can do it on their own, guys. Again, you don't even have to spend $1 if you want to do all of this stuff. If you want to do all of this stuff on your another live member just joined in today, and he actually started working somewhere. Stan, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I love that you joined right now because I want to hear something from you. How's the new job? Because Stan just started a new job. So Stan, just give us a little bit of idea about your job, man. I mean, this is something that people people who are applying right now are looking for. So give me a little bit of information.
Oh, wow. I actually started yesterday. So far, it's going okay. Like, I joined this job in the Department of SSA, Security Center. But
what is your title?
I work as a security system analyst.
Wow, that's a pretty good title, man.
Yeah.
Right, for the first job. Oh,
I know. So what is happening right now is actually when I joined this job, we actually doing like help desk support right now, maybe for like a month. Then after that, we will start getting training on security because I think they have like a delay in the program. So it's actually a double advantage for me because I have to do like 2 jobs.
But you also the point is that they're training you, right?
Oh yeah, I'm giving all the training. Like
So guys,
everything,
are you hearing this? Because a lot of people get
everything is from
confused
the
that
beginning.
they are showing him everything in the beginning. So Stan, did any of our training helped you?
Oh, a lot. You know, there are so many stuff that I have idea about, like Active Directory, ticketing system. Like when you're doing like the trainings, I find myself like knowing everything.
Excuse me.
The manager will come to me and he's very happy actually. On unlike other workers who are trying to apologize for not knowing Active Directory and
Oh
some
wow.
other
And
stuff.
you're sitting there, you're like, I know this stuff.
Yeah, when I got this money, I had like a little nice note for appreciating me for being fast
Yeah,
with my
wow, that's
training.
amazing, man. See,
Yeah.
that's you know, this is what we're talking about, confidence, guys. The only reason probably they came and did this training, either if somebody's doing it for free, but the quality of the content is the same, right? If you're taking this training for free with us, that's the same quality, right? You guys seen me. I didn't change. I didn't change in my training that this is a premium level content. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna guys teach you guys in my training. I didn't do that, right? I just go with the flow. So the main point that I want to present from Stan is his confidence. So he was.
Oh yeah, like everything you talk about, sharing, sync, everything. That's what we're gonna be doing. Like they're teaching us everything, Active Directory, all of those things. Like they're sharing permission, access, and everything. That's what we're doing. Like digitally. So everything you guys taught there is like a repeat of everything. Like I'm very happy. Why? Because I am not so lost with those terms. All those terms, no matter how deep they are, but I still know where they're going to. Either they're trying to reset a password, Office 365 is still the same things. It
Oh
came
yeah,
to me,
exactly the same thing. Yep.
signature. Can you create yourself a signature? I said, yeah, I can do that.
Nice.
Uh,
So guys, you guys are hearing live. I did not paid him. I did not call Stan to come and do this for me. He just straight saw me that I was live. He came in. The confidence for you guys is going to be to use stuff like this, which is so real, and then take advantage of it. Don't be scared of these jobs. They're going to most likely they're going to train you. You just need to get that understanding to make it easy for yourself to learn. Now, if Stan gets to learn all that stuff, this means he will be learning 2x faster. Why? Because he already have a knowledge. His mind is ready to accept this type of training and not getting stressed out, right?
Correct.
oh yeah. So if anyone is applying, just apply the job. Don't be scared. You're gonna be taught everything, like everything. They'll teach you how to answer calls. They'll teach you. Like I have like a month of training, like 1 month to get trained before I can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They believe like everyone is new. They don't know anything, and they are willing to train us.
Yeah. I mean, what is something that? Okay, go ahead, Eddie.
No, just saying that's good. That's good to hear that they're willing to train you and all that.
No, that's great. That's fantastic.
Can you guys see my video?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So what would you suggest people from your experience, Stan, so far? Like, what would be something that I haven't talked about yet? What is that? Is there anything?
But I would like to say you guys are amazing team. Ali, Hadi, all those troubleshooting, Office 365, like everything is basically what you're doing. I'll only say you guys are doing a lot, and I appreciate that. And you have a wonderful team.
Thank you so much. So Ali is, of course, a network engineer. Hadi is an AWS certified security guy. They also know this basic stuff, and they do this kind of stuff and training and stuff. So they're a part of this training as well. And Salam is gonna basically meet them on Saturday. What I want to also talk about is maybe if Rahal is here, because he has a little different story now, but I'm not sure if he's listening to me right now. Rahal and Stan both took together this training, but Rahal is a different story. Stan has a different story. I don't think he's here so far. So I mean, that's kind of like it. And I think Jerry is also here too. He has a little bit of knowledge right now. Jerry, what would you recommend some of the new guys? I think you've been in IT for a little bit now. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. What would you recommend the new folks out there, like from your experience?
If you're a new person to IT and if you're working in the IT field already, try to absorb everything that you can. Try to learn everything that you can. That's actually my story, because I was actually working with somebody, and I learned pretty much what Danish has been showing here through Active Directory, and as he was showing it was pretty much coming back. But it's something that I learned in the field, you know, with this other person and working with a company that has, I want to say, about 30 employees, and we have them through Active Directory. I was not taught everything, but what Danish was showing me is pretty much what I had already learned over here, like sharing and
so
the
Jerry,
passwords and everything.
What would you say if you would have learned a training like this? Would you think it would be helping you at the job? Like,
oh yes, absolutely. I would rather take a course and learn step by step, you know, instead of pieces here and there.
now, did you use any online training before?
No.
No, okay. So because there are people that may go to some online trainings and there may be good training, so we want to know about them too, like what kind of resources they have used, because we're not the only one. You know, not through us. People are not going through us to the, like KevTech has members that totally never knew about JobSkills Share. They still got a job, right? What he's doing. So what Jerry is saying, Jerry's not our member, by the way. Jerry's not a live member, right? Jerry, you're not a live member. I don't think you're a premium member as well, right?
No, right.
So there you go. We
Not
got
yet.
in this live session a person who is an IT person. He's doing IT job, and I talked to him on the phone too, and he's been doing fine, no problem. He's just learning more from these skills, and exactly the same way I do things, right? There are trainers that I follow, right? I'm not a person who knows every single thing in this world about IT. It's impossible. So I gotta go to my mentors, I gotta go to my trainers, and I learn something from them, and I just come and start. Maybe with mixture of my knowledge, I mix it up and just kind of show it to people. Okay, this is what we have been through, all this stuff. So let's go to some of these questions, because I know this is my last day, so I want to basically ask people, if you have last questions about career stuff like that, you should throw it out right now, because I might not be available like this for a little bit after today. So I have taken CBD, Nuggets, Udemy, Cisco Academy. They're all different approaches, but hands-on, you will greatly benefit like he does. Okay, that's exactly what we're basically like talking about. These platforms are really good in future or now if somebody can guide you. That's my point to them. Run into the same situation, online universities, you work experience, then you take some courses, then certification tested, per metric. This type of training is more practical, real world. And that's why we created this platform, because of these issues with universities, specifically me coming from that area. Issues with the colleges, issues with the boot camp where they're so fast and they don't lead you to the end, meaning they're gonna finish 3 days of training, take $3,000, and then goodbye, bye-bye, right? It's like that, right? You gotta go back and pay them more money. Ours is like you do the training, but then we don't leave till you finish certain things, and that can take about how many days? For Stan and Rahal, it took them 3 months to get to this point. They didn't just land at a job right away. Some people who are in this training right now, who have finished the training 3 weeks ago, they're still doing it. So there's no way we tell people that we're going to promote that kind of thing in our platform. So that's number two. Number three is that we are a next step to own the YouTube community as well. If a YouTube community is showing all this stuff that I'm doing the same thing, I'm kind of like inside the YouTube community. If I'm showing all this stuff, can I give you the ability to take it to a next level? And that's through courses, through giving you a platform so you can put it on your resume to make it more professional, to give you ability to do things. Of course, that will require you to invest money. Nothing to hide, right? So that's what I'm doing in these 3 areas is my focus, and my focus is going to be always like this. So of course, after this, right now, I'm heavily interested in sysadmin area and network engineering. Network engineers are already started, 2 network engineers, and sysadmin, 2 sysadmins with 1 cloud experience. We have already started that on our platform, which is like inside its building right now. So at some point, what will happen that when you guys become a help desk and you guys spend 6 months or 1 year or 2 years in your career and you feel like I'm done, I want to move up, then you're going to have the same level of information, like how we invest so much energy in help desk. You're going to get the same level of energy with a sysadmin, so you can start making more money and you make your transition to higher level positions. Does it make sense?
Denise,
yes.
What I would like to add to is that what you guys are doing are actually amazing, because this is my job. Actually, we will be moving remote. Once I'm done with my orientation, I have to do everything remotely. So the way you have started remote working, that's a better way, because everything we're gonna be doing remotely. So I'm actually going to work just to learn how to go and do it at home right now. So that's just the extent of going to work right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good point right there, because somebody asked me one day, the way you're teaching is something that usually people will teach inside a classroom, which a lot of people, there are many people that they want to sit with you and they have a different way of learning, right? So then I'm like, if you were sitting with me right now inside the classroom, I'm still not going to pull up a server and give it to you. I'm still going to be, server is going to be running in our server room, right? It's going to be still coming from your web browser. All we did is like, we just changed it a little bit and we made some connections and made it available to a lot of people outside of our normal classroom, right? So some people in the beginning had a hard time understanding this training because it was so much hands-on. Remember, guys, you guys go to the CompTIA Plus training. Back in the days, you got to learn a lot about hardware, right? So yes, that makes more sense. You got to touch things, you got to open things. Because when I was in a college, in one of the class heavily was like, how do you install RAM, understanding about the CPU, every single thing about it. So half of my time was spent just that. And by the time I started looking for a job, that didn't help me a lot, right? It was like Active Directory and stuff like that that I needed to know. So then I was telling people like, you know what, this is something a lot of people still have hard time accepting, that how are we getting all this hands-on access? I mean, it's not hands-on, it's online. So how am I going to learn all that stuff, right? So they're still thinking that I need some type of physical stuff to touch on. So then I tell people to buy a computer and start touching it, right? So make a feeling out of it, right? But things are changing, guys. You can see almost 95% of the whole world went remote, and we're doing everything remotely. So our learning is also remote right now. And our learning has become more skill-specific learning, just like that Microsoft announced that we're going to start teaching our courses, our certification based on roles, based on skills, rather than saying this is server certification, right? And we have started that 5 years ago. And that's exactly what Cisco is doing now. They're adding Python, they're adding other stuff to make a combination of different things to give you that now, right? So now you see all these platforms are kind of like coming to this specific area where skills are more valuable than just papers out there. Back in the days, it was papers and knowing a degree in IT or stuff like that. Maybe that was worth it that time. But here, right now, you're trying to get into just a normal basic level jobs and try to become a sysadmin, try to become a network engineer. If you don't know how to do things, you can't get a job. I mean, right now, I can say that maybe some of you already got certification like CCNA in this live training, but you're still taking these trainings to learn something, right? I'm sure because if you're at that level that this is too basic for me, you won't be taking this training, right? And I can guarantee most. Yeah, go ahead.
No, exactly. Like I always mentioned, I know I sound like a broken record every string you do, but I'm a living example. Like what I did was I used all the other courses, like the ones that you mentioned, to obtain a CCNA. But when I got the CCNA, I learned through going through these interviews, wow, there's actually other stuff that I need to get strong at, that I need to know how to answer certain questions. So then I found these guys, and they're helping me a lot with this. And, everybody needs it. It's not about the paper no more. The paper could get you in the door, but you got to be able to answer these questions and prove that you know how to do these things. Otherwise, forget it,
The other thing is that the idea of skill sharing came from working inside the company. So it's not new, by the way. It's not something that we have invented it. It's been there, right? How has it been there? When you back in the days landed a job in IT, then an IT professional will teach you these things on the job, or they will send you where? They will send you to some corporate level IT training, right? Yep. So those companies, they would charge every single employee about $3,000 to $4,000. They're still doing that right now. And then they will train you in 1 day, like a very fast pace, or 2 days, right? Super fast, right? And I looked at that and I'm like, that's just crazy, right? Because first of all, you are getting selected based on these skills that you don't even get access to. Nobody's teaching this stuff, right? So when we started this in the beginning 5 years ago, and I started with a ticketing system, and we were the first one to actually come up with a course on ticketing system, course on Active Directory, like for help desk. It didn't make sense to a lot of people. Like, why are you teaching a ticketing system course? It doesn't make sense, right? And now it makes perfect sense after 4 or 5 years. You can see how many ticketing systems are required, like skills are required in the job right now. You go there, the first thing they're gonna ask you, what kind of ticketing system do you use? Right? So yep. you think about it, that's the type of stuff that people were teaching on a corporate level of training. So what we just did, and right now this whole YouTube community is gathering together, like KevTech, IT Create Questions, Kuberman. These people know this, right? That's why people follow us, because we're doing a little bit unique, and we're not just talking about theories right here, right? I'm sure you would have been bored. You would have left long time ago if it was just like slide going through left and right? So guys, I think it's definitely a long time. Today was the last video, so thank you so much, guys, for being there. The people on the chat, I do appreciate you guys are putting on stuff right there too. I will be definitely back after my training for a little bit, but again, I'm not going to be available for a little bit, for 2-3 weeks because of my own trainings. See you guys, and stay safe out there. Keep coming to our website. There are free courses available. Keep coming to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of resources. So thank you again for being with me, guys. The people who are live, I always appreciate you. You guys are amazing because you're always here with me and spending your time with me, your valuable time. So I really expect that from you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danish, for talking to us and teaching us.
No problem.
Really appreciate that.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Danish, for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Everybody, good night.
Good night. Thank you.